Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome, beautiful ladies. It's so great to be with you here today. Hi, my name is Robin Nielsen, and this is our Tuesday Tip PCOS live Facebook event. So excited to be here with you. I'd love for you to post where you're joining in from. It's always so much fun to see the ladies from all over the world. I love, love, love it. So post where you're joining in from today. I'm here in beautiful Capitola, California. So it's a little seaside community that's absolutely lovely in California. And just love the beach community. It's so beautiful here. Sarah Elizabeth, it looks like Burt Whistle. That's such a cool name, is calling or joining in from Manchester. And oh yeah, hello from Manchester, cool. And Bianca from Australia. I am so jealous that you're in Australia right now because the Australian Open tennis tournament is going on, and I would love to go to it one day. It's such an amazing tournament. It's what's called a major, and you may be an avid tennis fan like I am, and maybe you've been. Alyssa is from Boston, Massachusetts. Hey, Alyssa. And Anna's from Riverside. Oh, I know right where you are. And great, so awesome to have you here. So if you would please like this Facebook event, share it with your friends, whoever you might think might benefit. They're really powerful conversations around issues that women all over the world are dealing with. And it's my passion, and certainly our passion here at Insulite Health, to empower women with PCOS to take charge of their health, to transform their lives. So I was made aware the other day that maybe our website doesn't quite convey that, but we're not just about helping you heal from PCOS. We're a little bit more selfish than that. We're helping you heal from PCOS so that you can actually have a really amazing, vibrant life. And that's where the transformation part comes in, because I don't want you for a minute to be having to worry about your health problems. I want you to be able to enjoy life, feel good, have really good energy, and feel happy, right? Because that's how we women serve the best, is when we're the best version of ourselves and we're just out there spreading the love, right? So cool. Panina is from Geneva, Switzerland. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing your name right, but it's so great that you're here. And Angie Brown is from Arkansas. Welcome. Marla Rita is from Malta. Wow, cool. Nice, nice, nice. From all these neat places. Oh my gosh, I'd love to go to all these places. I think that there's an amazing spa in Switzerland that some of my colleagues are going to, and I'm a little jealous because I really would love to go. It's a big detox health spa. And welcome, Misty. Great to see you here from Cannon City, Colorado. Oh my gosh, welcome, Becky from Kauai, one of my favorite places on all the planet. Is Hanalei Bay. Just love Hanalei. Oh, so pretty. And actually the whole island is absolutely gorgeous. Well, welcome, ladies. So great to have you here. So today, I like to type as I go so that we're all on the same page. Today we're going to I'm going to share the 9 steps to menstrual. I'm so glad I can type a little bit. 9 steps to menstrual regularity. That's our conversation today. So a while ago, I actually posted on our Facebook page, reaching out to women who suffer from menstrual irregularity, what exactly it was that bothered them about it. Because I know that having a menstrual cycle for women is tough in general, right? I mean, gosh, we bleed every month, our moods change so much, our energy really wanes, right? It really decreases around that time. We sort of go inside ourselves for a little bit. And, then there's that part of our cycle where we actually are more extroverted and come out. And so I just wondered, what was it if you were a woman and you didn't have a menstrual cycle? what was it that was really the problem for you? And so I got a lot of feedback on that post, and I'm really grateful for all the women who participated in helping me understand, what was going on for them around not having a regular menstrual cycle. And that can mean a lot of things, so I want to explain that. All right, so let's start with just some of the basics, and then please post your questions, any comments that you have. Would love to hear from you. So let's just talk for a minute about what the menstrual cycle is. So I love what Dr. Christiane Northrup says about the wisdom of the menstrual cycle. It's pretty cool. So in traditional times, it was, really a very special time for a woman, and it was treated as that, right? It's really the most basic earthly cycle that we have, according to Dr. Northrup. Our blood is our connection to the feminine. It's the macrocosmic cycles of nature, the sort of waxing and then the waning. It's the ebb and flow of the tides. It's the changes of the season. All of that are reflected on a smaller scale in the menstrual cycle. The monthly ripening of an egg and the subsequent pregnancy of release of menstrual blood really mirrors the process of creation, because it not only occurs in nature, but in human endeavor. So in many cultures, the menstrual cycle has been viewed as sacred, right? And it really is a very sacred thing. So there's this whole sense that really the menstrual cycle is about ebb and flow. It's about rhythm. So the menstrual cycle, a regular menstrual cycle, really has so much to do with being in rhythm with the cycles of the planet. So what's interesting and what comes to me around this is that in PCOS, or polycystic ovary syndrome, or if we're just experiencing a lot of symptoms of hormone imbalance, a lot of times what happens for us is that we've gotten out of sync with our bodies. And that is super easy to do. In this day and age, really one of the huge underlying causes of PCOS is stress. And stress comes in so many different forms. And one of the outcomes of stress is really just being out of sync, being out of rhythm. Our bodies don't have the raw materials they need. We're running from here to there like crazy. If you're like me, oh my gosh, my life used to be absolute chaos. I mean, I don't know how I did everything I did. I was running on empty all the time. And if that's kind of how we're living our lives, the menstrual cycle is all about procreation, right? It's all about making a new living soul. And if you're too stressed out, that's the last thing that your body's worried about, right? Your body is really worried about just keeping you alive. So one of the first things to go is the menstrual cycle. So if you're not balanced and you don't have enough raw materials, then what's going to happen is your cycle is going to become irregular, maybe completely go away, because there's too much stress going on in the body. Does this make some sense? I just want to make sure that that you're with me here. Okay, thanks for posting, ladies. Thanks, Mary, and thanks, Maria. It's Maria Rita. I think I got that. Yeah. Okay, great. And I'll get to your concern. So just know that if your cycle is not regular, it's because of a lot of different things. So I'm going to give you those 9 steps to menstrual regularity that will help a lot. So what I'd like to do is just share a little bit about some of those underlying stressors. And then before I get there, I want to share about the different types of menstrual irregularities. And then I'll share about the stressors and what could be keeping your body from focusing on fertility, right? Even So let's take just a quick step back. So some of the things that the ladies said on my post were that they were their periods were painful when they did come, or that they had very heavy bleeding. And heavy bleeding that goes on and on is just horrible, right? Just so much blood, and really it just zaps your energy. Oh my gosh, if you're someone who's ever experienced heavy menstrual cycles, can you imagine? I mean, you're just losing a lot of blood. It's just zapping your energy, pulling a lot of minerals, especially iron, out of your body, and it's just exhausting, right? Miscarriage is one of the problems that women experience with irregular menstrual cycles. A fear of not ever being able to start a family. Let's see, just severe mood swings, crazy bad sugar cravings right before the cycle might start. Women worry about cancer. So if you're a woman and you have irregular menstrual cycles, then maybe you worry about cancer. That you're more predisposed to getting cancer. Of course, infertility is a big issue with women who have irregular menstrual cycles. A lot of times you don't know if you're ovulating, right? Many women are not ovulating, even if they do have a cycle. A lot of women will be put on the birth control pill by their doctor because that helps with regulating the menstrual cycle in the doctor's mind, but in reality it doesn't. So birth control pills do not regulate the cycle. They make it seem like you're having a regular cycle, but they don't. We'll have another Tuesday tip on regulating or on birth control pills for sure. Yeah, I think that those are the big things, a lot of worry. So women worry a lot when they don't get a regular menstrual cycle, and just sort of the surprise of when it does come. So a lot of unpredictabilities. It's really unpredictable, a lot of worry. When it does come, we don't feel so great, of course. Pain, not ovulating, just a lot of things really bother us around that. So it could be that, that you feel a little bit trapped. So let me share, I just want to share sort of the different types. So, I often use, the image of the iceberg, where you have your menstrual irregularities, which is the tip of the iceberg that's poking above the water. And then below the water, all the different things that could be going on. So, maybe all you see is your menstrual problems because you're really focused on starting a family, or you just would like to not have to worry about it, right? And really underneath are all these hormonal imbalances that are happening. Maybe you're experiencing insulin resistance. Maybe you have like constant headaches or a lot of digestive problems like bloating and gas, or, maybe depression, anxiety, fatigue. All these things kind of go together. But maybe you're sort of just seeing the menstrual aspect of it because that's what's first and foremost on your mind. And to be quite honest, that's actually most of the women who come to our website, menstruation is their biggest concern. So that's why I wanted to make sure to do a Tuesday tip on this. So it's definitely a hallmark symptom of PCOS, is irregular menstrual cycles. So let me just run through the different types of issues with menstruation so that there's a clear understanding here. So one is amenorrhea. I'm gonna put this up on the screen so that you can see it. So amenorrhea is when you actually have no cycle at all. Okay. So amenorrhea is no cycle at all. And Maria Rita says, I feel trapped, bothers just the waiting and waiting. Yeah, I completely understand. Okay. And Cassandra said she can't seem to get pregnant. And Sarah's on the birth control pill. And let's see. Cassandra, I ovulate on my own for the most part. Monthly cycles are on time. Okay, great. Awesome. Great. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Lori, for joining in. And some of the tips today might be helpful, even though you're postmenopausal. There's so many similarities between PCOS, no matter what your age, and women who are postmenopausal. So if you look at the symptoms, they're almost identical. They're almost identical. So it's, again, PCOS is a big bucket, right? It's just a big bucket for all those symptoms of hormone imbalance. So again, if you're postmenopausal, you'll find that even in this conversation, you'll find a lot of tips that will be really helpful, because oftentimes we had problems with our cycle, with miscarriages, with things like that when we were cycling, and they don't go away just because we're postmenopausal, right? So amenorrhea is when you have no cycle at all. And let's see. And then something called dysmenorrhea is when you have painful periods. So let me just post this. So dysmenorrhea is when you have painful periods. And then there's something called oligomenorrhea. And that's when you have less than 6 to 8 periods a year. Okay. Less than 6 to 8 periods a year. And then there's something called anovulation, which many of you have mentioned is a problem, and especially a problem if you want to start a family. And that's where there's no ovulation, okay, anovulation. Okay, and there are a lot of, medical ways to treat that. A lot of times it's not very successful though. And then menorrhagia is when you have unusually heavy or a long menstrual cycle. So kind of the bleeding just goes on and on and on. Okay, so those are all the different types of menstrual concerns that you may have experienced before or you're experiencing now. And if we go back to the concept, and I just want to post this, that irregular menstrual cycles so they're just indicating that your body's out of balance. Okay, so irregular menstrual cycles are really a body out of balance, and it's tricky because there are genetic components to this, for sure. Of course, with PCOS, there are a lot of genetic components, certainly if you have classic PCOS. But we know that with epigenetics, which is how the environment affects, how our environment affects our bodies, we know that if we take care of our body in a certain way, in the way that is most beneficial for our body, that our menstrual cycle will return and get regular. So one of the things that we've noticed in our community with our Insulite PCOS 5-element system is that women tend to become regular pretty quickly if they follow the steps. So for instance, if you go to our website, pcos.com/inspiration hour, some of you may have joined in last month, and I actually interviewed Annalisa Vicencio, who is actually going to become a world advocate for us, because she's so knowledgeable in the world of PCOS. She's actually been on the PCOS 5-element system since, I want to say, 2008. Listen to her interview, because she actually did not have a regular menstrual cycle for years and years and years. And within, it was like, I want to say 1 to 3 months, her cycle became regular and has been regular ever since. So, and we've had a lot of women in our community where this has happened. And then it's when your cycle actually becomes irregular again that you have to check in and say, what am I doing in my life that is not working for my body? Okay, so that's what you want to start asking yourself. And I'm going to give you some clues on how to do that right now. Let me just check in with some of your posts so that I don't get too far behind. So it's a really good question, Cassandra. How many days should you have active bleeding? So anywhere from like 5 to 7 days. Some women have short period, or like more like 3 days, which is fine. 3 to 7 days, fine. Too much more than 7 days starts to get, really want to start taking a deeper look at that for sure. And then Becca says, how about not getting a period for months? Let me just post these so that people can see. How about not getting a period for months and then bleeding for a month when it does happen? Yeah. So there's no name for that. In fact, there are probably a couple names for that, right? Amenorrhea, no period at all. And then menorrhagia, a really heavy period or a long period. And so that's, again, it's just your body's at a balance, and we just want to get you back into balance. And, there are a number of reasons that this happens, and I'm going to share some of them with you in just a minute. Let's see. And then Tracy, yeah. Okay. So I'll answer you separately, Tracy, because it's a little bit more involved. So, okay, yeah, it sounds like you're getting a handle on it. Pernicious anemia, you can't take iron. Okay, so we're going to get you helped for sure. We'll figure this out. There's always a way, right? Always a way. All right, and make sure that you like this post and that you share it with your friends, your communities, because it's really, really important. So many women struggle with our issues, but they're not aware that there's a natural solution, right? And we need to get the word out there. So please, please share with your communities. All right, so let me just go over some of these. So anovulation is also known as an anovulatory cycle. So you don't have any ovulation. It occurs when you bleed, but your ovaries do not release an egg. So such cycles are a warning sign of infertility, right? The next one, amenorrhea, that we talked about, just means you have no menstruation. Let's see. And then oligomenorrhea is the infrequent, unpredictable menstruation. So cycles may vary widely and irregularly spaced. They might range from light to very heavy. So, yeah, so Becca, that's for you for sure, right? That's sort of what you're experiencing. Dysmenorrhea, severe menstrual cramps, pain, bloating, that's dysmenorrhea. So you do have a cycle, but it's really, really uncomfortable. And then there's just abnormal menstrual bleeding, which means, this covers any events such as an extremely heavy flow, a prolonged period that lasts longer than 10 days, bleeding between cycles, all of that, right? Which can definitely be a sign of PCOS. And then we highly, highly suggest that you don't take birth control pills to regulate your cycle, because it really just makes things worse. So I want to talk about, it's a super big struggle for women. Oh gosh, it's horrible. And we don't want to take it lightly. It's a really, really big deal. So it's important to resolve. It's one of those 2018 goals that we want to check off our bucket list, right? It seems might seem to you to be kind of funny to, put that on your list of to-dos for 2018, but can you imagine how life would be with a regular menstrual cycle? Not just would you have a regular menstrual cycle, but so many of your other symptoms would be improved. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So, wow, Brittany, awesome. Ended up losing 40 pounds from diet change, balancing my body. That's really, really exciting to hear. And I hope that you're feeling well too. because it's one thing to lose weight, but it's another to actually feel well. And we just want to feel well. You know, that's our main goal, right? If we feel well, then weight is not necessarily as big of an issue. All right, let's see. Awesome, Brittany, so many good changes. Cool, very cool. All right, so I just want to, before I give you the 9 steps to menstrual regularity, I just want to identify what I call the hormone deal breakers. And so I want to go back to what I said earlier was if you're not having a regular menstrual cycle, it's because your body is not in a place to be able to procreate, right? So for some reason, your body is telling you that it's struggling with something else. There's too much stress going on in your body. And if that's the case, fertility is really the very last thing that your body is going to be able to support. It's just not going to happen. So let me go over the hormone deal breakers, what I call the hormone deal breakers. And these are really just underlying stressors in your body. So number 1 are nutrient deficiencies. So your body is really lacking the vital nutrients that it needs for its just daily function. And then the second one is really the wrong diet for you. So the third one is the wrong type of exercise or movement. The next one is inadequate rest and sleep, right? It's not for anybody else. It's what do you need? And then toxins that come from so many different places. And I'm going to talk more about this. And then low thyroid function, low adrenal function, lack of support, sluggish or fatty liver. Let's see, what else? Bacterial, viral, fungal infections. So things that are keeping us stuck, right? These stealth infections. Poor microbiome or gut balance. Maybe you're just too busy. Your body can't keep up. That's a big one. That's a really big one in our PCOS community. Negative thoughts, right? Negative thoughts, or what I say, what's between our ears is a really big deal. That can really keep us stuck. Your body's ability to detoxify. Okay, your body's ability to detoxify. So that kind of comes back to nutrient status, adrenal function, thyroid function, that sort of thing. Poor fat metabolism. There are a lot of women in the PCOS community who actually have genes that don't allow us to metabolize our fats very well. So the APO genes, and that can really get us stuck. That can keep us from menstruating regularly because fat actually is it's cholesterol. Actually, fat, right? Healthy fats are what our hormone system is made of. So fats actually build what are called our steroid hormones that help us to communicate with everything. So if we're not metabolizing our fats well, or we're not taking in healthy fats, right? We're eating a lot of sunflower, safflower, corn oil, hydrogenated fats from processed foods, then our body's really stuck with poor fat metabolism, icky fats that are not helping us. And then, of course, our genetics. So those are a lot of the underlying stressors that can keep our body from having a regular menstrual cycle. So what questions do you have around this before I share the 9 steps to menstrual regularity? I've given some clues already. So Anna asks, how do we know then which diet and exercise is best for us? Oh my gosh, that is such a great question. And that's what our PCOS 5-element system is all about. So that's where we provide the raw materials in all different areas. So when I share the 9 steps to menstrual regularity, that's what we share in our PCOS 5-element system. It's a little bit too lengthy to share with you today, and everybody is so unique. So it's one of those things where you have to figure out, we show you how to figure out what the best approach is for you. And Okay, Elizabeth says, I have an appointment with Dr. Thursday. Read those, test. Elizabeth, do you think I can get pregnant? Yes, I think you can get pregnant. You know, many women have been told that they will never be able to start a family, they will never conceive, or they'll never carry a baby to full term. And I'm here to tell you that you can. And we will definitely have a Tuesday tip on fertility, infertility. It'll contain some of the same information, but we'll have a lot of new information as well. And this focus is really just on getting a regular menstrual cycle, because once you get a regular menstrual cycle, of course, then it'll be so much easier for you to be able to conceive and carry a baby full term. So it's really important to know, for you to know, is it's not just about getting pregnant. It's not just about being able to carry a baby full term. It's about you being healthy first so that you can produce a healthy baby, right? You want to have a healthy baby. It's a lot of work to be pregnant. It's really hard on your body. It's a lot of work to raise a child. It costs a lot of money to raise a family, right? You want to have a healthy baby. And so you have to get yourself healthy to do that. And you have to get yourself healthy so that you can be strong and feel good yourself while you're pregnant. And then when you have that baby, so you can take care of it, right? So many women just want to get pregnant and have a baby, and they forget that they've really got to get healthy first, because all of your symptoms won't go away and you won't feel better just by getting pregnant. And then you're putting your baby at risk and you're putting yourself at risk. So by getting a regular menstrual cycle, at least you know that you're on a really good track to being healthy yourself, right? Okay, cool. So, oh, Anna says, I had triplets. It's possible. Yes, it is possible. You are one busy woman, Anna. And Zandra says, is it not good to take pills to have regular periods? Yeah, we don't support that because you're not getting your body into healthy hormone balance. Great question. Thank you for asking. Let's see. What else? Maria Rita, I think since I switched to cardio, jumping rope, I am much slimmer. Can it be I'm too slim to menstruate? So it can be. It can be that you don't have enough fat. So women need fat to have a menstrual cycle. That's why a lot of athletes don't have a regular cycle, for sure. Okay, now we're going to jump in to the 9 steps to menstrual regularity. Yay! All right. So here are my 9 steps to menstrual regularity, and I'm going to post them as we go. So number 1 is get into a rhythm. That word is so hard for me to spell. Oh, whoops. There you go. Sort of got what I asked for. Get into a rhythm. So a menstrual cycle is a rhythm, okay? It's a rhythm. So you've got to live in a rhythm in order for your body to have a rhythm, okay? So start thinking about your day and get into a rhythm. Kind of try to wake up at the same time every day, eat your breakfast at the same time, do your movement at the same time, eat at the same time, you know, have your time at the same time, go to bed at the same time. Get your body into a rhythm. That's probably the biggest tip I can give you for supporting menstrual regularity. All right. Number 2, you want to address nutrient deficiencies. Oops. Address nutrient deficiencies. Let's see, somehow I'm not spelling this right. C-I-E-N. Oh, yes. Okay, so address your nutrient deficiencies. So a lot of times we're not having a regular menstrual cycle because we're nutrient deficient. Okay, our bodies do not have the nutrients that they need to function properly. So if this is the case, then you won't have a regular menstrual cycle. That's why it's so important to understand that you need a lot of nutrients. And women with PCOS, we just need more nutrients. It seems like we power through them. Our stress is usually a little bit elevated. That's because we are so vigilant and we're so strong and we're, type A personalities. And so as a result, we really power through our nutrients. So make sure that you replace missing nutrients. Really, really important. All right, number 3. You want to eat the right food. I'm going to change this around. You want to give your body the right fuel, okay? I'm going to say think food. So give your body the right fuel, okay? So that's whatever you put in your mouth is what your body uses to function and to build, right? Those are your building blocks for your body. So you have to give your body the right vitamins, the right minerals, or enough. I shouldn't say you need enough of all of them, right? You can have too much for sure, and you can have too little. So you need to make sure food is the most powerful medicine. Truly, it's the most powerful medicine. So if you just change your diet, like I think Becca did, right? It can be powerful for regulating your menstrual cycle. But you also, I'm going to get to this in just a minute, so I won't share this right now. But so vitamins and minerals that we get from food, proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of our bodies, super important. The right carbohydrates, not carbohydrates out of a box, right? But lots and lots of vegetables and healthy fats, right? From wild caught fish and from healthy organic olive oil and from coconut oil and then of course metabolizing those. So just, giving your body those yummy fuel. It's like putting, I know this is kind of weird for women, so I don't use this analogy very often, but it's like putting diesel fuel in a gas engine for a car. I asked actually for a mini chainsaw for a present one year. So I have a hot pink mini chainsaw. It's so funny. It's electric, but I wanted it because I wanted to trim a hedge out in our front yard. And I thought, I've got to have a mini chainsaw. But it would be like, giving it the wrong fuel, right? It won't run. So that's the same with your body. You are not going to have a regular menstrual cycle if you don't give it the right fuel. Super important. All right. So you ready for number 4? So number 4 is you want to exercise, but we like to say move your body in a way that supports you. Okay? So boy, if you're like me, I used to over-exercise and under-eat because I thought that was the way that I could lose weight. And interestingly enough, this morning when I was on my morning walk, there was a mom group and they were pushing strollers. And the women that were a lot heavier were running, right, with their strollers. And the women that were slender were walking. They were walking fast. Right. And I was thinking, well, this is absolutely backwards, right? I mean, that's how I used to think. And many in our community thought that way, right? If we work out harder, then, it's obviously my fault that I'm fat. And so I've got to work harder because I'm not working hard enough. I blamed myself. I thought I had to go running more and work out more. And in reality, it's just the opposite. And that's something that we teach in our PCOS 5-element system. I know it's hard to believe, but we'll show you how, right? Thanks, Nyla, for posting. I do not ovulate at all. Okay, well, we'll definitely get you there. Okay, so number 5, drum roll, please, is you want to sleep your way to a regular cycle. Okay. Don't underestimate the power of sleep. It's super, super important. It's the time that you rest. It's the time that your body heals. It's the time that your body actually can release toxins. It's the time that your immune system, becomes powerful again to support you so that you don't get those deal breakers like bacterial, fungal, viral infections, things like that. So it's really, really, really important. Sleep, I can't talk about sleep enough. That's another Tuesday tip, Facebook Live event that we'll definitely have, but sleep is super important. So that's number 5. Okay, number 6 is you want to reduce your toxin exposure. So this is something that we're doing right now in our detox program. Women with PCOS just tend to have higher what are called BPA levels. And BPA levels are called obesogens, or they're called endocrine disrupting chemicals. And what this does is it just completely imbalances your hormones. And we know that we need a balance of hormones to have a regular menstrual cycle. But there are a lot of other toxins, right? There are toxic habits. Like, what toxic habits do you have right now? Post your toxic habits here. In the comment section, I want to hear what toxic habit you have that you know is keeping you from feeling your best. What is that? Mine was over-exercising. Mine was under-eating, right? Some days I wouldn't eat anything, right? Completely imbalances my hormones. What else would I do that was super toxic? I wouldn't get enough rest, right? I ate things that didn't support me. That was a toxic behavior. And I knew that those things weren't good for me, but I ate them anyway, right? And I stayed stuck. So what toxic behavior that you can think of right now that you could do away with that would really support you? So, this is still January, right? It's a great thing. So I'm actually drinking no alcohol for all of January. So it's on my refrigerator, all my little things that I want to do for this year, just to give my body a break. And it's so great. Like when I go out to dinner and stuff, I have so much more energy and I feel wonderful and I sleep fine. And, because alcohol messes with so many things. So Anna says sweets. Yeah, for sure, right? Sugar is a toxic behavior that makes us want more sugar, and then it keeps us stuck. But there's a brain chemistry element to that, right? So our PCOS 5-element system helps you to solve that brain chemistry issue so you don't have so many cravings. And then Mandy said, not enough sleep. Okay, great. Awesome, you've identified that. And sweets, okay. And Mandy, if you don't get enough sleep, then of course you crave more sweets, right? So lack of sleep reduces willpower and causes us to crave sugar because we're tired, right? Yeah. All right, anybody else willing to fess up here? Not enough me time, Shannon. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to share some of these. Just so these are some of our toxic behaviors that we're going to get rid of, okay? Thank you so much, Anna, Mandy, Shannon, for being brave to share. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So these are toxic behaviors that we're going to kind of wipe clean for January and give ourselves a better chance, right? Okay, cool. All right. Make sure that you're liking and sharing so that we can spread the word about how we can just all feel better, right? We women need to bond together. In fact, I'm going to give you a big virtual hug right now. Oh, because hugs really help us to build oxytocin so we feel connected and loved and in our happy place, right? Okay, so I think that we are on number 6. No, we're not on number 6 yet. We're still, sorry, we are on number 6. I just wanted to bring up a couple more areas of toxins. So what you have in your household, you want to look at, cleaning products, clean out all the bad cleaning products. You want to look at all your body care products, right? What toxic body care products are you putting on your body, right? Go to ewg.org and look up those toxic body care products and get rid of them. So you want to look at the toxins in your food. You know, there are toxins everywhere, and just reduce your toxic exposure. You know, there are a lot of toxic people in our lives. You know, can you think of one toxic person in your life right now who you would be much better off without, right? Because we got to surround ourselves with people who support us. That's really, really important. Now, those are the sorts of things that we learn in our VIP community, right? Is getting rid of toxic people as much as possible. You know, some of those toxic people are our family. You know, so you just want to limit your exposure to them, know who they are, identify them, and then limit your exposure. Okay, it's my huge tip. Oh, Maria Rita, thank you so much. That is so sweet. Just got to post this. Oh, thank you. Feels so good. Oh, feels so good. Thank you. And then let's see. I saw, oh yeah, Elizabeth, using plastic bottles. Yeah. You can get plastic bottles that are actually BPA free, so you definitely want to look for that. Very, very important. There's so many cool bottles now that that are not plastic, and of course we know that plastic just totally messes up our environment too. So we not only mess up inside our bodies, but we mess up our environment, which, you know, is what we're leaving for our kids and our grandkids. And so we really want to start looking at that. You know, when I, for my water bottles, I have one that's steel, I have one that's glass, and I take them on the tennis court. So I try not to use any plastic. They're heavier, but I'm willing to make that trade-off. Makes me strong, right? Carry them in my tennis bag. Oh my gosh, Mandy. She says, I stopped coloring my hair. Yay. That's a big toxic behavior. I know we like to look pretty, right? But you can definitely, if you want to color your hair, you can, a couple of things. You can choose healthier ways to color your hair. That's a big deal. And then the second thing you can do is drink lots of water, right? So the solution to pollution is dilution, as long as it's really good, clean water. So no chlorine, no fluoride, good, healthy water. So if you are going to have your hair done, just drink lots and lots and lots of water. And a better way is to get highlights instead of the color right on your scalp at the roots. So those are just a couple of tips, but that was an awesome toxic habit that you just decided to show your beautiful hair just the way it is, and your hair stopped thinning, right? So much. Cool. Okay, so Elizabeth said shampoo and conditioner, absolutely. Those are big, big toxins. Big toxins. And we can make our own products, by the way. And they're so easy to make, and we can make them smell so good. And then when we use them, we feel so good about ourselves because we made something really cool to help us be healthy and strong and vibrant. So if you have a good DIY, do it yourself, shampoo or conditioner, we would love to see it. Loved. Even like putting apple cider vinegar on your hair after you've shampooed, it makes your hair so soft. It's amazing. So just little tips like that. All right, so we've got to move on here because we just have a little bit more time. But number 7 is, this is a huge one. Address low thyroid function, right? So it's also called hypothyroidism. And a lot of women with PCOS not only have hypothyroidism, but they have something called Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune thyroid. And it plays a huge role in an irregular menstrual cycle, a huge role. And I actually shared a lot about thyroid function last week on Tuesday Tips, so go back and listen to that Tuesday tip because it'll help you a lot. But here are 3 ways, according to Dr. Laura Biden, that an underactive thyroid causes irregular periods. So it elevates prolactin, which suppresses ovulation, right? Which is exactly what we need to have if we want to have a baby and be healthy, just to be healthy. right? Number 2, it impairs insulin sensitivity. So of course we become more insulin resistant, which causes all sorts of wacky hormone problems. And it increases your risk of PCOS. It kind of it'll give you a PCOS flare-up of all the symptoms. And most importantly, it robs your ovaries of the cellular energy that they need to ovulate, right? So cellular energy is the energy that your cells use to do everything in your body, okay? Everything in your body. So they're in your mitochondria, and those are the little powerhouses of your cells that help your body to do everything. So if your thyroid isn't functioning properly, it's going to be pretty hard for you to have a regular menstrual cycle. And again, it's super, super common in women with PCOS and hormone imbalance symptoms. So you've got to get your thyroid checked out. And not only that, but you need our support around that. So listen to Tuesday Tip last week. You can actually do your thyroid work through us, or we can tell you which numbers to ask your doctor to run. You just have to, really insist when you go see your doctor, and then we can help you interpret those numbers and help you work with your doctor, because they don't see things quite the same way we do when it comes to looking at your numbers. You can definitely be hypothyroid and not show it very strongly on blood work. So remember, symptoms with thyroid are more important than lab work numbers, but the doctors need lab work numbers to support you. So eating a really good diet, getting rid of toxins, a lot of the things that we talked about today, replacing missing nutrients, will actually support healthier thyroid function. And that's why that's why we call the PCOS 5-element system, I've renamed it the baby making system for those women who are still wanting to start a family, because it helps you become regular, ovulate, and we have many, many pregnant women in our community right now. And I don't think that they actually got thyroid support. I think that they just did all the things that I'm talking about today. So it can really, really help. Number 8 is heal your digestion. Oh my gosh, so important. So having a good digestive system, starting right here in your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, right? Your small intestine, your colon, making sure you have good bowel movements, super important for menstrual regularity. That's because when you have a good microbiome or a lot of good beneficial bacteria, it suppresses autoimmunity, so you won't have an autoimmune problem with your thyroid. You also have a healthier immune system. You absorb more nutrients. So if you experience gas, bloating, indigestion, poor bowel movements, constipation, diarrhea, any of that, it could very well be that you're sabotaging your ability to have a regular menstrual cycle. So really important to have healthy digestion. And that's where our detox program comes in, to really get your digestion back on track pretty quickly. And the PCOS 5-element system really helps with that, especially with our glucax and digestive enzymes that are in our nutrients. So we're getting very close to the end. I do have a bonus one, so hang in there. Number 9 is you want to eat to support hormone balance. So this is a little bit different than the food that you put in. It does have to do with that, but it actually has more to do with the timing of the food. So timing is super, super important when you eat for hormone, when you're eating for hormone balance. So you've got to, what I say, eat your way to better sleep. Right? So how you do your day is how you're going to do your night. So if your day is super busy and you're not taking great care of yourself, then that's how your night is going to be. Your night's going to be super busy. So if you eat for hormone balance, the best one who explained this to me, actually there were two doctors who just really rocked it with this concept, were Dr. Barry Sears with the Zone Diet. His family had a history. The males in his family died, I think, by age 45. Every single one of them, his dad, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, from a heart attack, I believe. So he was just trying to live past the age of 45. So he figured out the timing principle of eating to keep our hormones balanced, to keep cortisol from rising, to keep insulin from rising. And we know in PCOS, when our stress hormone comes up, insulin comes up, and then it makes our hormones go down all the wonky pathways to cause all of the icky symptoms of PCOS. That's why you have to deal with those underlying stressors. So if the timing of when you eat is off, that's a big deal, a really big deal. The second doctor is Dr. Diana Schwartzbein, and she was actually able to reverse type 2 diabetes by helping people not only change what they eat, but the timing of when they eat. So super important, super important. So I'm just going to run through it really quickly so you have a little bit of the how. You want to eat within an hour of waking, a big protein breakfast, and then every 5 hours. So getting those 3 meals a day, and just never go more than 5 hours between meals, and try not to snack in between, because what you're doing is you're regulating insulin and cortisol, and that's how you do it. Okay. All right. And so the bonus step is number 10. And that is, you really want to surround yourself with love and kindness. Okay? So surround yourself with love and kindness, and especially, find a community of women who really support you, who are on the same journey you are, who are going to give you advice when you're stuck, who are going to give you a little bit of a push when you don't want to go, who are going to, wrap you up and give you love if you're struggling a little bit, and give you direction if you need it, if you're not sure what's next, because everybody is different and you need that experience, and I'm so blessed because that's what we have in our VIP Inner Circle community here at Insulite. And you're part of that beautiful community. Just by showing up here today, it tells me that you're, so interested in making your life the best it can be, and feeling your best, and showing up in the world in a bigger way. So let's just go through. Let me just see if there are any more questions I can answer. I'd love to see your posts. Thank you, Shannon, so much. She says, this community has been amazing, life-changing for me, and I want to say the same about you, Shannon. Having you in our community has been really life-changing for us. We're so blessed with the women in our community because, like you, they are rock stars. They show up in a really powerful way, and that's how we can live our best lives. Thank you. Yeah, and Mandy says, love yourself first. Absolutely. We absolutely want to love ourselves first. That's one of the reasons that we get into the bind that we get into, is because we don't love ourselves first, right? We're busy taking care of everybody else. Well, if your cup is not overflowing with love, then you got to fill your cup up first, and then you can help others. That's when you show up in the biggest way to help others. Yes, Mandy says, identifying food sensitivities helps with digestive issues. Sugar, dairy, gluten are big culprits. Absolutely, yes. And probiotics really, really help. Yeah. All right. So Becca says, I have hypothyroidism. How do I know if it's Hashimoto's? So what you would have to do is get your doctor to run something called TPO, thyroid peroxidase, and something called TAA. There's also another name for it, TBA, I want to say, which is thyroantiglobulin antibodies. And the reason, so let me just hide this for a second. So this was in our Tuesday tip from last week, and you can look that up. TPO and TAA are thyroid antibody markers. And the doctors don't run those because they don't really have any tools to support you if you have Hashimoto's. But if you have Hashimoto's, it's completely different than just hypothyroidism, because Hashimoto's can can give you hypothyroidism. It can give you hyperthyroidism. You might not notice any thyroid issues with Hashimoto's. It kind of goes all over the place. And it's an autoimmune condition that starts in your gut, right? So you can heal your gut, and now all of a sudden your thyroid's working fine, right? It's a big deal. So a lot of the things that we talked about today, if you resolve those, then you'll also resolve the Hashimoto's issue. But sometimes you get hypothyroidism, and then, yeah, you really need to support that. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for being here today. I'm so honored to have spent this time with you. Go back and listen again. That's why I post a lot of things, because I want to make sure that you get it. I might not speak it as clearly as I would like to. And so that way you can just see it right on the screen. And again, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you showed up today. Keep learning, keep taking better care of yourself. I look forward to meeting up with you in our VIP Inner Circle community. Our team can help you get started whenever you're ready. And if not before, I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.